Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 64 of the Local to Global series. Now, it's going to be an interesting episode. Obviously, we're coming off of Wrestle War and Warzone. Of course, we had the special live stream episode as well. Just wanted to say thank you for all the support, not only during the live stream, which was, a pretty cool thing to see for the series, but then, those of you that couldn't make it to the stream, you definitely showed the love. We set it as a premiere, basically the whole stream, and seems like you guys enjoyed it. It was obviously a much longer sort of episode because it was part of a live stream. Just want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to sort out here because I didn't really sort out much. We obviously just kind of focused because we had the two big pay-per-view shows. But as you can see, our broadcasting deal with OnDem is it's literally about to run out. We have 3 days left, so we'll get the last Coalition TV, the first one of this episode, and that will be the final show for OnDem because we are indeed going to be leaving. And as you know, I like to play pretty realistically, so I'm happy that it's finally come to an end, and then after this first show, we've got a lot of broadcasting stuff to do. It's probably the title of the episode, to be honest. Of course, we're also coming off the big Warzone main event, also getting a 98, our highest ever, or tied for our highest ever match. And it was actually our best ever show. I can show you that in a second here. And lots of interesting things really came out of the whole pay-per-views. And I say pay-per-views because obviously Wrestle War wasn't that good, but at the same time, it definitely set up Warzone to achieve what it did, basically, and that was that 96 rated show. Ooh, interesting. Got Turk Treneman. His contract's running out, and he's indeed the tag team partner for Cooper Christie, so I think it goes without saying that we're going to be signing him. And once we do, we will indeed have a very, very talented tag team, a new tag team in our division, basically. And it sets things up really nicely because I do actually have some decent plans that I would like to implement. And it's kind of getting rid of one stable, but instilling a new one, if that makes sense. And Turk Treneman would probably be the best signing we could actually make. So it's kind of perfect timing. Because I really, really wasn't expecting him to sort of pop up right now. But he literally would be the best option. Alright, so looks like we have the better offer there. Which is good, but I am only going to advance one day at a time. As you can see, Storm Spillane, of all people, one half of the American... What are they called? The American Dragons? Cobras. How could I forget? It's been a long time since I've seen Storm around. Boy, oh boy, is he a good talent to get in. We'll definitely try and sign him. Try and steal him away. As you can see, he works... Well, he works for CZCW, but as you can see, due to the Confederation of the Territories pack, has gone out to Oli as well. So might have a little bit of pop. Well, quite a bit of pop in Mexico. Actually got a decent amount of popularity everywhere, to be fair. I mean, he is the current Coastal Zone champion. Gonna be expensive as well. Maybe not as expensive if it was other companies, because obviously CZCW kind of not the... I don't know, what's the best way of saying it without being really disrespectful? Maybe not the strongest company around, but they're definitely doing pretty well themselves. And they've definitely put in a pretty good offer here as well. So we're going to have to negotiate pretty hard. Okay, so he doesn't want to work house shows. Hopefully that's nothing too serious. He might have just, hopefully Okay, so he only wants major shows and above. Hopefully he hasn't really had any bad injuries or anything like that. Alright, so it does look like we got the best offer there, which is nice. I'll have to check and see what Martha Malloy's doing as well. Yeah. Let's actually have a look at him in a little bit more detail. He's also apparently a tag team partner of Giant Brody back in BCG, which is funny, but probably not a lot of use to us here, actually. But he could also be another pretty decent option to this new stable that I wanted to do. He could play a pretty decent role. Although he's relatively small, so I wouldn't really see him as a as anything too special in that sort of department. Anyway, it doesn't really look like he's that badly damaged. The resilience at 75 is obviously not the greatest thing in the world, and as you can see, his physical health, it is kind of low, which probably just means that he works a lot. So I feel like him coming to our company, he's not, he's only going to be working once a week, twice a week at the end of the month with the pay-per-view. Probably not the worst thing in the world for him, if we're being honest. So we'll see if we can get both these guys in. You got our QAW looking like they're signing some of their dojo graduates. It'd be nice if we actually got some of our dojo graduates through as well. We only saw that one guy, and he was pretty bad. Anyway, Americana Jr., another guy I'd like to bring in fairly soon. But as you can see, he's still got basically a 2-year contract left, which is very unfortunate. Anyway, let's get into the show here. Get this final TV show for Ondam. Get it over and done with. And yeah, Selena still working for 5-star. Did we not sort out that sort of issue? I thought we did. I guess it hasn't started yet. Alright, she's got 5 days left. Okay. Let's not worry about that then. She'll miss this show, but you know what? We probably weren't going to use her anyway. But the thing is, we can actually start using the women now on the shows. So I would you know what we might have to do as well? I might actually up the show length to 2.5 hours. At the moment, it's 2 hours. But I kind of said already that I wanted to have more than five matches per show, and if we have the women, I don't want one of the matches to be taken away by the women, if that makes sense. So adding an extra half an hour, not only does that give us, more opportunity for the, large male roster that we have at the moment, but it also gives the women, their due time, and we can essentially do, a proper angle and a proper match each show, and then also have the rest of the girls in the pre-show. So that'd be good. Anyway, let's we did have an event there, or a backstage incident. Got Ellie Degrazia brightening the backstage area simply by being cheerful and fun to be around. And then we have some tips on microphone being passed on by Doc Hammond to his protege, Chip Martin. Good stuff. Anyway, yeah, I kind of want to do an open forum. Let's do an open forum. One of you guys did mention it a couple of episodes ago in the comments, and I'm not the biggest fan of doing it because it can lower your backstage rating, but at the moment, Princeton Price has bad morale issues, and I don't exactly want him to walk out on the company. Anyway, we got Dace Lavoie, Robin Newman, Grace Harper, Mitzi Kavanaugh, Giant Brody, Princeton Price, all hopefully a little bit more sorted out. Actually, good to see. It looks like both Robin and Giant Brody have actually, lost their morale issues as a result of that. What about the backstage, though? It's still at 100. It's still at 100, so you know what? We'll take that. We'll take it. All right. Venue is Brampton, and we're ready to book. However, we have to fix up the storylines. Now, this one, I think this one can stay. Do I maybe add in 2 other workers to it? I don't know. I'm not really too sure what our first storyline is actually going to be. In regards to the women, obviously, in theory, we're going to want to have a title storyline. Maybe not this month, but maybe next month. I think for this month, we just try and build them up a little bit, and I guess kind of see who our contenders are going to be. Obviously, Deborah, Selena, and I guess Erin at the moment are probably the favorites. Obviously, with Selena not being here, it kind of puts a few things to the back burner with her, I guess. But she needs the most work in regards to popularity. Anyway, I think for this month, we're going to go big. I want to get the 100 rated match. I really want to get it. Actually, speaking of that, the only reason why we didn't get the 100 rated match, in my opinion, was due to Lee Bambino penalizing our announcing and dragging it down. Now, it has adequate experience, but I have a feeling if I take Lee out of it, yeah, see, it goes back to low. This is the problem that we're going to run into. And it's that really unfortunate penalty that we're going to suffer. We're gonna have to keep him there, and that's real bad, because maybe I won't do what I was thinking about doing with the storylines. You know what we'll do instead? Let's do this instead. Let me take Aldous out of there, and then we'll go to the push for Canada. I'm going to take Brody out of there as well. You might be wondering, why are you taking the Canadian champion out of the push for Canada storyline? Well, for this month, I did kind of have this in the back of my mind, but I kind of wanted to maybe do a fatal 4-way. But I guess we're going to have to put that on the back burner for a little while and just hope and pray that we, get some more experience for our announcing team in order to get Lee Bambino out of here. I was pretty tempted to actually fire him straight away after that last episode. Anyway, Giant Brody, now up to 73 popularity. I'm going to do champion versus champion. Both titles on the line. Yes, both titles on the line. So, there's a lot to win. Obviously, Brody, current Canadian champion, just winning that title from his tag team partner, Gorman. Then we have Logan Wolfsbane, who is, of course, our unified world champion. I believe he has 3 defenses. Now, 2? 3. He does have 3. Up to 75 prestige there as well. 61 for the Canadian. 47 for the tag team titles, which, has come up a bit. Fair bit. And, of course, we also had new tag team champions there as well. All right, so that's what's going to happen, I guess. The push for Canada, we're going to add in a few workers. We'll keep Graham Gorman in there, but I think the next people I want to push, we're going to go with Jack Jackson and Masked Patriot. So this is where things are potentially going to get a little bit interesting. I say a little bit interesting because, yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, anyway. Rest of the storylines. I think we've pretty much got to do a rematch between Young and Wasted and the LA Stars, because obviously the LA Stars, they lost their title to Young and Wasted. However, it was in a fatal 4-way TLC match. So, the favor wasn't exactly in their hands. A little, I don't want to say a little bit, stolen, if you will, but I mean, it's all there to play for, basically. And we might actually continue with this storyline, and then let's add in... Where is he? Add Aldous back in. How did this match actually go? I can't even remember. Okay, so that's good. I like that. We actually gave the win to Wall Street Enterprises. I thought I did that. I thought I did it. Just had to check. So we'll actually have the proper rematch where it's not going to be three on two, you know, that handicap style. That'll be at the next pay-per-view as well. All right, high flying to the top. I mean, this storyline is kind of over. We kind of need a new challenger, perhaps, for high flying Hawaiian. I think I have the perfect person, to be fair. Let's go Robin DeLay. Robin, of course, made his debut at Wrestle War. I believe he did. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. We don't really need to check that anyway. And then the real question comes, what do I do with both Mainstream Hernandez and Davis? This is where it gets interesting. Let's... Let's go like this. Maddie Faith doesn't have anything to do now. So let's put him into a storyline here. We're going to have another sort of 3-on-3. Yeah, kind of like stable warfare, but that's not a real stable, obviously. So let's go with Zeus. Obviously, Zeus, Mainstream, and Davis can be aligned. And then we'll throw in... yeah, I guess we'll just go Stan Manor and Rock and Ryan Turner as well. So that'll be their three, taking on the other three, and of course we can always job out Charlie Corner as well. Let's alter this storyline name as well. Maybe call them the Goats. Goats versus Faith No More. All right, I like the look of that. I guess Hernandez can be an impromptu goat, if you will. He is kind of a goat in many people's eyes anyway. And if he wasn't in time decline in this series, he would potentially be better than Davis. So let's just throw that out there. Anything else? I think that's it, to be fair. Because passing of the torch, I guess, can continue at least for one more month. Yeah, I mean, I like that. Let's run with that. We'll see what happens along the way. But it's a good place to at least, you know, start us off, if you will. All right. In regards to a main event, there's a pretty easy one we can do. Just simple Graham Gorman taking on Logan Wolfsbane, who now has 99 popularity. Not sure if you saw that. Let me show you in proper detail. There you go. 99 in Ontario. 98 Great Lakes. I mean, solid 96s across the board in most of the regions there. Insane. Absolutely insane. And it'll be non-title. So yeah, things are kind of going from bad to worse for Graham Gorman. Just losing his title. Now he's losing a high-level main event quality match against Logan on TV as well. Let's have, I want to have Giant Brody in a match as well. He'll be taking on Gary Walker. Kind of going to be like a bit of a rematch with the Canadian title on the line. Obviously, pretty clear winner. Pretty clear champion at the moment as well. There we go. There's two really easy matches straight out of the gate. What I think I want to do next, this one, I kind of feel a bit weird doing this one, but it's got to be done. So Hernandez taking on Maddie Faith, almost like a pay-per-view level quality match. But Maddie's going to get the win, and it's going to be tainted, and it's going to be outside interference finish by, I guess we can just go Rock and Ryan Turner. Alrighty, so cheating to win. There we go. Now we do need some other tag team action, I guess. Did kind of have Disciples of Darkness being the new sort of tag team #1 contenders, but the LA Stars, they definitely deserve their rematch. Let's go LA Stars taking on Job Squad, I guess. Maybe the Northern Lights instead, actually. There we go. I feel like that they have actually versed each other quite a bit, so and it's almost a little bit strange, but you know what? We'll just do it. Try and get him a inkling of momentum back as well. Alrighty, up next, I think we'll go with Ellie Degrazia, and she can take on Deborah. Should be an okay match. We'll just give it 10 minutes. I don't want to give it too much time. Obviously, Deborah gonna be looking pretty dominant coming out at least this month, and obviously for a bit more of the foreseeable future as well. But there's pretty much all our matches, really. We got some other stuff we need to do. Let's kick things off with Doc Hammond. I guess he can just introduce both Deborah and Ellie to the crowd. Kind of makes the most sense there. Yeah, I mean that'll advance a storyline in its own right anyway. Then I think I want to have maybe Hernandez talking about Davis and their match. Yeah, so he'll be off screen. We'll give mainstream a bit of success to the Goats versus Faith No More. Alright, LA Stars. I mean, we don't really need any angles for these guys. So what I think I'm going to do is have Aldous. We're just going to go for a Forces of Darkness angle. I think I want to have... I think Jackpot was the winner, so... We're going to have Aldous cut an angle directly towards Jackpot. I guess he's the one that Aldous kind of sees the most prosperity out of, if you will. There's the most potential of joining the dark side. You know, Star Wars pun not intended, but I guess joining the Forces of Darkness is probably the better way of saying that. Let's have a Giant Brody angle. This one won't be exactly directed at Logan, but it's kind of going to be directed at the Unified World title. And then I guess there's no better way of just having Logan, I guess, kind of call out Giant Brody. Say, you know, I'll explain it in a little while. It'll make more sense when I'm explaining it. All right, there we go. What are our issues? All right, Ellie Degrazia is being used far too much. Understandable. We'll take her out of the angle, I guess. I guess maybe we'll just have a sort of a confrontation between her and Doc, between Deborah and Doc Hammond. And there we go. Okay. All right, that kind of sorts out everything, really. I could maybe have one more match. Is there anything I'm kind of missing? Oh, high flying. Maybe just let's give Robin Delay a bit of a squash match or something like that. Let me borrow somebody up. Let's go. Yeah, we'll go US Ace. He doesn't have very good selling. What about Reggie? I don't really want to job Reggie out though. I kind of see Reggie as a possible. He has a possible future use, so don't really want to ruin him. Let's go Masked Cougar. There we go. Simple and easy. All right, so we'll just have a very short, dominant match with Masked Cougar 2 taking on Robin the Rock Delay. He's indeed called The Rock. I'm pretty sure we only have 7 minutes, so it might even be a squash. Potentially. Yeah, we'll go 5. We'll go 5. We'll go a squash. And I guess we can also work the crowd with it as well. Alright. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it. We'll keep it at 5. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's do a women's tag team match here real quick. Let's go for... Well, we need to call somebody up. Who am I going to team up? Let's go Erin Gray and Air Raid Siren. I think we should probably borrow... Maybe Joella. We haven't really used her too much. She does have really good star quality. Let's bring her up. I mean, she's obviously going to lose, but... Alright, so Air Raid and Erin Gray take on Amy St. James and Joella. Just a nice, easy 12-minute match. And it makes sense. We'll continue just to give the wins to Erin, because she does have a very decent upside to her. Alright, so there's one pre-show. Let's grab another one. Let's just go a 6-man. I have David Stone. Ooh, actually, how long do we have on that promise? I should probably go back and check it. Alright, so we still have 24 days, which is fine, because we're going to have them take on each other at least one more time, where Stone's going to go over Gilmore. Not sure if we'll have them go at it again for a third time. Potentially. Alright. So I guess in that case, we'll just have them team up tonight on the pre-show. Doesn't really mean too much. So let's have him, Angry Gilmore, and I guess maybe just Chip in there as well, for the sake of Chip being involved. And I guess they can actually verse maybe Red, White, and Blue. They can just verse the anti-Canadians. So let's grab Patriot. And of course, give David a victory. Loser can be... Oh, it doesn't matter who the loser is. Hopefully it's not Patriot, but like I said, really just doesn't matter. And I want to see what Chip is looking like as well. He's really not looking too bad. I mean, now that his microphone's been going up as well, I mean, he's not looking like a bad, or at least a half bad wrestler as well. He's got the 74 star quality. It's good enough. And something I forgot to show you guys after last episode, the popularity here on David Stone, up to a 78 for Ontario, and somehow he's got an 80 in Quebec, which is very strange. Anyway, so Anti-Canada versus Next Gen on the pre-show. And we're good to go. Good to run our final TV show on them. Alrighty, so we kick things off with a 54 rated women's tag match. Air Raid Siren and Erin Gray defeating Amy St. James and Joella Leon in 12-11 when Erin Gray submitted Amy with a guillotine choke. Obviously, Joella the weak link. And she was also really off her game. Unfortunate, but we also have Amy St. James getting better at a gimmick, so a negative with a positive, I guess. Alrighty, we're then going to a 69 rated 6-man tag on the pre-show. We have Next Gen defeating Anti-Canada in 11:38 when David Stone pinned Americana with a stone cutter. Yeah, very good match there. Pretty happy with that one as well. Alrighty, we then kick off the TV show. Apparently a very poor way to start the show. We started off with a squash match where we have a 40 rating for a very quick match. We have Robin Delay destroying Masked Cougar 2 in 5:02 by pinfall with a delay down. Maybe I shouldn't have had the squash go on first. I don't know. Either way, doesn't really matter. Just kind of to give Robin a bit of momentum, because he will be involved in that storyline against High Flying Hawaiian. Alright, we then go into a 62 rated angle here where we have the Women's Division Commissioner, Doc Hammond. And he's approached by Deborah Young, who kind of has a few questions aimed at Doc. You know, obviously the women are a mainstay now, and the actual roster has been released as to who is actually in the division. And Deborah kind of says that they need something to fight for. They need a top prize for a champion to win. And she kind of puts herself forward and says that she deserves, to be involved in any talk of a future championship. As you would probably agree with. I would anyway. We then go into her match, which does very, very well. We get a 68 rating. The women already, they're coming in pretty strong straight out of the gate. You know, we have kind of used them a little bit on the pre-show and stuff like that. But even at the pay-per-views, they were pulling these sorts of ratings. I think one of them was about a 67 or a 68 maybe. And then the second one, which didn't actually have Deborah in it, was I think it was at least a 60 or above. And this one's now a 68 as well. We do have Deborah Young defeating Ellie Degrazia in 9:34 by pinfall with a sit-out powerbomb. So Deborah is really looking like the dominant force in our women's division at the moment, 100%. I mean, she is, just, by her size and stature, she looks pretty dominant anyway. So there we go. We've got a 64 for Deborah and a 54 for Ellie, and she's also getting better at her gimmick. So happy days there as well. Alright, we then go into a 76 rated angle where we have Mainstream Hernandez. A little bit better than he's been doing recently, maybe. I kind of feel like he was letting me down a little bit before. But as you can see, he comes out, addresses his match at Warzone against Davis Wayne Newton. And basically says that, nobody really thought that our match together was going to be, as great potentially as the main event. And, we definitely upset the apple cart a little bit. And Hernandez kind of says, I'd be looking forward to potentially having a rematch with you, Davis, at some stage. You are the GOAT here in the coalition. And Hernandez, he was kind of the GOAT back in his day as well. Back before, when he was in his peak. Let's just say that. He's still at a very high level, but he's definitely past his peak now. Whereas Davis is kind of smack bang in the middle of it. Anyway, says that he's very respectful, and he respects him, not only as a competitor, but as a man too. And I guess Mainstream, has found some, or at least found a pretty decent level of respect for the GOAT. Because maybe before their match at the pay-per-view, he was a little bit hesitant and a little bit, snarky towards Davis. But obviously Davis winning the match at the pay-per-view has indeed, I guess, Hernandez has found that level of respect. Maybe a little bit humbling as well, taking that loss. I had a feeling this one was going to be pretty good. We go into an 89 rated match here, where we have Maddie Faith defeating Mainstream Hernandez in 11:52 by pinfall with a leap of faith following interference from Rockin' Ryan Turner. So Maddie Faith getting a cheap tainted victory here with the help of one of his Faith No More stablemates. And beating a down and out Mainstream Hernandez at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what happens here as a result of Faith and his cheating ways. Alright, we then go into a 99 rated angle from Aldous Blackfriar. And he kind of says that he was impressed. Very impressed by Jackpot Jordan. He thinks that maybe Jackpot is a little bit maybe past Wall Street Enterprises. He sees a dark side to Jordan. Lurking way down in the depths of his soul. And he says that, he's not even the leader of Wall Street Enterprises. That is, it's John Greed. And Jackpot, by far and above, seems to be the standout in that stable. There's a reason why him and Stevie P were the tag team champions for so long. And it wasn't Stevie P's fault. And he's just trying to sow the seeds of doubt into the mind of Jackpot Jordan. Just trying to, reach into his soul and just grab that little bit of darkness and just pull it out a little bit further and a little bit further. Like he did with Aussie Goldstein prior to that. And yeah, it's Aldous Blackfriar. Too bad he didn't get a 100, but I'll take a 99. Alright, we then go into tag team action, getting a 73 rating here. We have the LA Stars defeating the Northern Lights in 12:04. And LA Star 1 pinned Riddick Jordan with a double stomp. Yeah, just a good match to get, some momentum back from their tag team title loss at the pay-per-view for the LA Stars. 73 is pretty good, especially out of the Northern Lights. Very impressed. Alrighty, we then go into our Giant Brody angle here, getting an 83. And basically, Brody comes out and says that, he's not 100% satisfied. He's now the Canadian champion. He had to do what he did to win that belt, beat his tag team partner in Graham Gorman. And he's kind of surprised that Graham Gorman now has an opportunity against Logan Wolfsbane in the main event. He's almost a little bit perplexed. He's wondering why Graham lost the title, but is now in the main event. And Brody is up against Gary Walker. Man, he's already beaten, a few times now for the Canadian title. He says that he wants to set his sights on something bigger, something more important, something more prestigious than the Canadian title. And he says, the unified world title is within his grasp, if he may say so himself. Obviously, not exactly in his grasp, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, his match gets a 73 rating here. We have Giant Brody defeating Gary Walker in 12:04 by pinfall with a single-handed chokeslam. And we do indeed have Giant Brody defeating Gary Walker and making defense number 1 of the CWC Canadian title. So yeah, 75 in ring there for Brody, 76 for Gary Walker. Gary's going to stick around in the mid-card, whereas we are, as you can probably tell, trying to push Giant Brody up the card. Alright, we then go into a 100 rated angle from Logan Wolfsbane, and he directly addresses Giant Brody. He says, he's impressed with Giant Brody, but really, you look at his size. He's 6'9", 360 pounds. He expected Brody to essentially be challenging for his title, and he's kind of a little bit disappointed at the fact that Brody now finds himself a mid-card champion, and he refers to it as the mid-card championship. He says, he's not exactly representing the world. He's only representing the nation of Canada. A few little digs there by Logan, and as you can expect, Giant Brody's not going to be very happy, as he doesn't like people, taking jabs at him, which is essentially what Gary Walker has done for at least the last, 3 to 4 months. So Logan, obviously, much more competitive when it comes to in-ring wrestling compared to someone like Gary Walker. And of course, he's also the Unified World Champion. So there we go. Anyway, it's 100. He's got 99 popularity. Hopefully we'll be able to actually get it up to 100. That'd be really, really nice. He would actually be the first worker to actually hit that level, which would be amazing. And yeah, the main event tanks real bad, actually. That's real bad. And it's, you can see, this is what I don't understand. This penalty. I do not understand this penalty. And just how badly it can affect this match rating. Because this match gets a 78, but it's got the definite lack of psychology on display penalty. The match had a tendency to drift a little. Let's just put that out there. That's bullcrap. I can't take that penalty, you know, lying down as I hit the microphone as well. Sorry, microphone, I didn't mean it. Anyway, got a 96 in-ring there for Logan and an 80 for Graham as well. Probably should have been an 85 at a minimum. Even then, 89, 88, somewhere around there is probably where it would actually fall without this penalty. But we do indeed have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Graham Gorman in 20 minutes 12 seconds by pinfall with a belly-to-belly suplex. Just unfortunate about that penalty, man. I mean, it got penalised for... Well, apparently Logan got penalised for inconsistency, so there's one extra penalty as well. Also a lack of associated storyline, but that's perfectly fine, to be fair. Just, I don't see this one getting a 78. I mean, maybe if I scripted it, it would have done incredible things, potentially. Maybe that's my fault that I keep calling every match that Logan's involved in. We'll just have to... Maybe I won't do the next one. Maybe I'll script the next match that goes for 20 minutes. And I guess we'll see what happens with it. Anyway, finish the show. We still get an 85 rated show, which, you know what, I'm happy with. It's still increasing our popularity in pretty much all the regions that we need it to. It's just Ontario, Quebec, and Saskatchewan. Is this Saskatchewan? I think it is. Hold on, let's finish the show and I'll check it properly, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of a letdown, man. I thought that main event was going to do really well, and it was our last ever main event for Ondem. I don't know. That's a tough one. In my eyes, and I'm sure in your eyes as well, probably, you guys would probably rate that match a lot higher. Alright, our run has now ended on Ondem after the deal has expired. We got a 3.85 TV rating, but a very, very low viewership for Ondem, as you can see there. We also have rival bid updates as well. Alright, so that is being seriously considered. We're going to have to go 20%. I think that's the only way that we're going to get this one over the line. Even still, we're going to have to go higher. Because it's only one of two offers that he would seriously consider. I'm assuming it'll be under 20,000 probably. Alright, there we go, 16,000. And hopefully that will be the last offer from US Pro. Storm-Spillane, on the other hand, we could be in a bit of bother, because they're up to just under 50,000. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that this wouldn't happen, of all things. Because now we're into like a pretty high stakes bidding war. But I do really like Storm-Spillane. I mean, if we could get Marvel in as well, that'd be sick. Like, it would really be awesome. Just to have the American Cobras in, because I have used them for a very long time. Pretty sure I had them back on my TEW 2016 New York City Wrestling Series. We're gonna have to go up high. All right, there we go, 57,000. Yeah, and I mean, even still, they might actually come in with another offer. And let's just hope and pray that none of the other big companies get wind of it and then decide to come in as well. Alright, so before we advance, and we are going to advance very slowly because we have those contracts, need to keep that in my mind. Otherwise, we'll potentially lose out on both of them. But here's the size. So, it's Manitoba, not Saskatchewan. Why do I always forget Manitoba? Isn't Manitoba where Chris Jericho hails from? I think it is Manitoba. Anyway, they were the three regions. We are 87 on Ontario. So that one's it's not likely to continue to go up anymore. Maybe if we keep having some really good shows, like the Warzone show there. Still can't believe it beat our second best show Unholy Alliance 5 by 3 whole points in show rating. It was only 4 away from a 100 rated show. Now that is something to just be, I don't know, amazed at, really. I don't think I've ever, in the history of me playing TEW, ever gotten a 100 rated show. I believe I've gotten 100 rated matches, but I don't even think I got a 100 rated match in 2016. I think it's all the way back in 2013 that I got my last 100 rated match. So that's interesting. That's very interesting because obviously I did a Road to Glory. The whole point behind a Road to Glory is getting a 100 rated match in a national or above company. So that was interesting. Anyway, broadcasting. Before I forget, off track, way off track. Let's do this broadcasting. Now, I was looking through Mexico. I was looking through the US. Now, the thing about the US is it's very difficult to get a broadcaster in the US because most of them, unlike this one with Ace Television, most of them, find an example here. Obviously not the best example. Let's go to Cannes. So this one, 15 regions, 55 popularity, also big size, but big size is coming soon anyway. As you can see, obviously Mexico, we don't have that popularity. Most of the regions in Canada, we obviously do because it's a home region, and I would say actually most of them in the US also actually have that. So this one might be a possibility, but it's big coverage in the US, only medium coverage in both Canada and Mexico as well. I'm not sure if I want to go like on that station, on that broadcaster. I'm trying to aim bigger. These guys would be the obvious choice, CBA. But as you can see, you need 60 popularity in 15 regions, also big size, which we will be soon. And they make the most sense because they're big in both Canada and the US. However, they don't have any coverage of Mexico. So we need all 15 regions, I believe. Actually, is it 15 regions? I might be mistaken. How many regions are there in the US? Okay, so there's 11 in the US, correct? Yes. Alright, so there's 11 in the US, and then there's, what, 7 in Canada. We could actually do that without having to get the popularity in Puerto Rico and Hawaii. I didn't really realize that. We're pretty much almost, actually, I think we're there. Yeah, we're actually there. The US popularity, which is insane. And it's literally only the Maritimes and British Columbia letting us down. And that one actually looks by far the best. I think this is who we need to go with. Obviously not right now because we're not big size and we don't have the popularity. But potentially by the end of the year. I mean, maybe I only go for a 6-month contract with these new broadcasters that I decide to go with. Because at the moment, we're not going to actually have a US broadcaster. I don't think we can really get one. I mean, we can, but it's not going to be anyone too impressive. Now, I was actually kind of thinking about maybe going for for one of these. Potentially, La Red de la Lucha has medium-sized broadcasting for Mexico. Obviously, a little bit in the US. So we would somewhat lose out on a lot of commercial profit from the US because we have very high popularity. But then again, we also have, our own broadcaster as well. Because like the only other ones we can go with are kind of like very small National Pride TV. There's also this one here, public access, but then that goes into Canada as well. So I don't really want to be doing that because I kind of want to be going bigger in terms of coverage in Canada. But then we also have Ace. Now, Ace is interesting. Obviously, lower coverage than CBA. However, Ace is much closer to where we are now, if that makes sense. Basically, you need 65 and 8 regions. And the thing with the US is. You have 8 regions here, essentially. You have 9, basically. So all these regions are getting pretty damn close to literally being 65. I mean, the only ones that aren't 65 are Southeast, Northwest, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Great Lakes. They're all 63, literally 2 points away from getting the popularity required that we would need to go onto that broadcaster. And if I go back into it and show you again, it is literally a very big coverage for all of the US. Would make us a lot of money being a commercial terrestrial. As you can see, I mean, TCW is currently on it as well. It's also a medium size minimum. I think that's what we're leaning towards. I think maybe for now, we might not even have a broadcaster in the US, apart from, the Coalition Network with big coverage, because we can actually get very big with that station. We can also get a better pay-per-view deal for Canada as well, so I'll show you that right now as we also go into our new broadcaster for Canada for TV. But there's Canada One Choice, who we're currently with. Of course, CWA and the Coalition. Alright, so at the moment we could negotiate with CBN, who also currently have CWA Championship Wrestling and Game Time on there as one of their TV shows, or 2 of their TV shows. But we also have ICTV, who is only medium, which is the same as CBN. So the same. They're pro wrestling, low risk. ICTV are neutral wrestling, high risk. So they would be open to more, hardcore matches, if you will. Then we go to Maple Leaf Sports, who also show TCW's 2 TV shows there as well. And as you can see, they're pro wrestling and very high risk. So they kind of seem like the logical option. I did kind of look into Netstream, where we're actually not too far away from that either. Literally only need 68 in 10 regions. And with both the US and with our, Canadian regions, we're super close. And as you can see, it's big in a lot of regions. Also with medium in Australia. But it is only an internet subscription service. So I don't know about it. Anyway, this is also the pay-per-view carrier I would like to get us in the future. North America Prime Select. But again, 65 popularity in 15 regions. That's Canada, US, Mexico. And then you also need to be big. So this one's, again, maybe more down the line, along with CBA. Although CBA, like I said, potentially not that far away. We only need 60. And it's literally the Maritimes and British Columbia that are letting us down. And the Maritimes, I think, are 45, whereas British Columbia is about 50 popularity. So, I mean, even that one's not that far away. All right, if we go a little bit further down, though, we have the sort of pay-per-view options as well. We have these guys here, Premier Pay TV Canada. Now, We'll wait before we go on this because, I want to keep things realistic with Canada One Choice. As you can see, we've still got 3 months left with this this current deal here. And I kind of want that to run out first. I want to give it a proper chance. So we'll let that run out 3 months and then we will jump on to Premier Pay TV Canada. Big coverage. Also the SWF's current Canadian provider. So that's pretty much it, actually. That's all the options we really have. And it's literally between CBN, ICTV, and Maple Leaf Sports. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards Maple Leaf Sports. So I think we'll go with Maple Leaf. They're pro wrestling. They're also very high risk. I feel like that's... What's wrong with that? Or are they max companies? Oh. They might only want to deal with one company. Interesting. I guess they're only going with TCW. They only want one. So that's interesting. Let me advance a day. I just want to see if that changes anything there. Because I'm wondering if that might be the game still recognizing Ondem as our broadcaster. Potentially, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is actually them not wanting to work with us. I mean, if that's the case, it's fine. We can find something else to do. Got US Pro coming in once again as well for Turk Treneman. And another seriously considered offer as well. So we're going to have to, once again, keep upping our deal until we get the desired outcome. And that is, of course, him signing with us. All right. There we go. Hopefully this is the last one. 19,000. That would be nice. But it looks like we might have locked down. We might have indeed locked down Stormspillane. Anyway, let's have a look now. So hopefully, please. No, they literally will not negotiate with us. That's unfortunate because I kind of like these guys. And now we're only left with ICTV and CBN. Okay, let's have a look at CBN. They also don't want to negotiate with us. I guess that's because they're already with... Yeah, they're already with... So frustrating. Already with CWA. It's weird that they say they're open to negotiations, but when you go to negotiate, they're not actually willing to negotiate. Alrighty, well, I mean, I guess it looks like we are sticking with... We could maybe go with GNN Total Sports, actually. How far off? Because if it's 65 in 10 regions... Maybe I go with them instead. Because all we need for 15 regions... sorry, it's only 10 regions as well. Is this the US regions? Because we've already got... Oh, this is where it's getting really interesting. I probably should... I didn't realize that they were even a possibility. Because they've got very big coverage in the US. They've got big coverage in Canada. And I think they have small coverage in Mexico as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 there. Over 65. Nearly 5. We got 1, 2, 3. So what? That's 7. Yeah, we'd still need at least 2 more points from some of these regions here. Oh man, I'm in a weird spot. I am definitely in a weird spot right now. Do we maybe go back in for Ondem? Just for maybe 3 months? It's only 2 points of popularity though. Let me have a look at something. Let me have a look. Because there is also the Pop network, probably my least favorite network available. Never mind, we don't even make the the popularity requirements. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know what to do. I guess we could maybe go for ICTV. But they don't want to offer us a deal either. Wow, because they're with 21 CW. It kind of looks like everyone is unwilling to negotiate. Well, at least Wrestle World isn't. Okay, that's interesting that all these different companies are just kind of refusing. Yeah, that's really strange. Anyway. I don't know what to do. All right, maybe we just go stay on Ondem, but we just stay. I guess 3 months is the minimum contract you can go for length anyway. Could do a certain number of episodes, but how am I going to predict how many episodes? I really wanted to get off Ondem. Now I feel like I've kind of let myself down, and potentially let you guys down as well. We're so close to getting that GNN. I could just do nothing. I could do nothing and just let our broadcaster run it. Let's just do nothing. Let's do nothing. See what happens with our broadcaster. It's only small coverage that we're losing with those other ones. And we are going to invest into our own broadcaster for these other regions. Because obviously we've essentially lost them by leaving Ondem. So British Isles, I think I want to bring everything to at least small. So let's do that first. About 1 million, probably, for every region. Potentially more than 1 million, based on Japan there. And based on Europe, it's looking more like maybe 1.5 million for those regions. Yeah. India's looking a little bit cheaper, actually. Alright, there we go. So we're small in British Isles, Japan, Europe, Oceania, and India as well. We'll save that. Alright, we're back down to 4.5 mil. So we've spent a lot of money this month, again. 5.9 million, really. Which is, a good chunk of the profit that we made last month. But at least, our broadcaster is looking a lot better now in regards to worldwide coverage. Anyway, let's advance another day. I've got to try and rack my head around what I'm doing right now, because I feel like not being on an actual broadcaster, even though we have our own, I don't know, it just feels a little bit strange. Feels a little bit risky. But we absolutely need to get a much bigger TV deal. Good things will come. Good things will come. Anyway, the contracts, they're looking good. They're looking like they might have sorted themselves out a little bit. Hopefully, JNN is an actual possibility. I mean, it has to be. We're literally 2 points away from 65 with a lot of those regions. All right, so there we go. Turk Treneman. No way. Perfect timing. This could be the signing. Amber Allen. Just look at her. 80 popularity. She's also, oh my god, she's also the current CWA Women's Champion. We could maybe, what a way to bring her in as well. We could essentially have her bring the CWA Women's title with her to essentially create our title. Like, it's almost stolen. These storylines write themselves, really. She's goddamn expensive, though. Oh my god, over 100,000 already on this first negotiation. That scares me a little bit. Scares me a lot, actually. Like, a lot. Damn, 126,000. Whoa. That's expensive. It's expensive, alright. And she also wants higher merchandise as well. Give the lady what she wants, I guess. I know she's pretty old. I also don't want it to be a 10-year contract. Luckily, I picked up on that. You guys are probably screaming at me. Alright. There we go. Alright, we are once again advancing by one day at a time. Wow, Amber Allen. Oh, man. She will absolutely blow our whole division out of the water. No one can even lace her boots in our division. I mean, Deborah was going to be the first champion, and it's kind of not looking like her right now. So, oh my goodness. 5-star, Oli, CZCW, QAW. Alright, L-Ring has been declared bankrupt as well. Let's have a look what we're dealing with now. Alright, 131,000 for CWA. Yeah, everybody else is not being considered, so that's good. But it's also 131,000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be here a while. We're gonna be here a while. She's not playing. We're not even on the scale at the moment. Like, we're literally not even close, and that really, really scares me. Alright, so 145, we're kind of back on her noticing block, but even then, isn't exactly gonna win us the negotiation, is it? I'm feeling like 160 is probably the magic number. And that is a lot of money. She's going to be on more money than Logan Wolfsbane. And that, in itself, pretty funny. Because, I mean, she's probably of the level of Logan. But she's definitely not the popularity of Logan currently. I mean, when he first came in, he was sort of around this same level. Maybe was he lower? No, I think he was at about like 81, 82, somewhere around there. Yeah, let's stop messing around. I mean, 158,000 still not good enough. 160. Okay, still not 160. She is an expensive lady. Wow, wow, wow. I'm about to freak out, man. It's is by far and above our biggest earner if she's going to come in. And we might not even win the negotiation. I mean, CWA could come back in. And we're at $172,000 right now a month. Honestly, what is happening? Maybe I shouldn't have brought in a women's division because looking pretty expensive right now. She's going to make like potentially like 4 times more than the whole rest of the division. But I mean, at the same time, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to steal away the best CWA workers. And exactly what I'm doing right now. Boy, oh boy. I mean, should I give her a bonus as well? I mean, I kind of don't want to do it, but it might sweeten the deal. $190,000. She's still not accepting it. Is this really going up to 200k? Alright, thank God. $192,000 a month. I mean, luckily it's only a 4-year contract because if it was a 10-year, we might have potentially ruined the whole company's financial outlook. Wow. I guess now I know what the title of this episode is going to be. Whew, okay. That was brutal. Someone like me that likes to really sort of penny pinch in the game. Just under $200,000. I mean, she's going to be one of the biggest steals we could ever get, which is great, but at the same time, it hurts. It hurts. Anyway, we got Storm Spillane coming in now as well, which is good. But Amber Allen, I mean, what an actual signing she is. Okay. We also have no TV broadcaster, so that's lovely. Yeah, we're actually losing out on potential, profit we could be making. I know it's not exactly a lot, but whew, okay. Lots of things happening this episode. Lots of things that I didn't really expect to be happening. I kind of expected to be able to negotiate with one of those broadcasters with medium size coverage. We also finally got Princeton Price back, the guy that complained about being left off shows even though he's injured. Now he was working through it, but at the same time, kind of just wish that he wouldn't have complained about being left off. Probably should have just given him time away while he was injured. I think in the future, like, if somebody picks up an injury like that, I'm just going to give them time off, because why wouldn't I? Literally makes sense. Anyway, let's do some more meddling, or at least try to. I know it's very unsuccessful every time I ever do it, but we may as well try. No effect. Alright, Hamilton for tonight's show. Fortunately, both the economy and the wrestling industry are falling in the Canadian country. So we might actually think about potentially moving into the US for some shows. Obviously, the tri-state is our most over region in the US. I guess we can actually check and see what the... I guess we could go... we not go? Oh. I'm silly. I'm very silly. 69 economy and rising, and a 63 economy and rising. Sorry, wrestling industry and rising. Interesting. Very interesting. Obviously, we lose out on a fair bit of attendance. So, yeah, it kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to do that anyway. Alright, the real question is, what are we doing for this show? I'm kind of unsure. I mean, I could go Maddie, Faith, and Zeus. But then again, I don't really want to do that, and I really don't know exactly what I'm going to do for the actual main event itself. Let me think of something. Go an 8-man tag, something I don't really do very often. I don't really like the multi-man tag main events. You know what? For this one, let's do something interesting. Let's go Giant Brody teaming up with Aldous Blackfriar. It's a bit of a weird team, isn't it? But we're going to be teaming with Aldous, Aussie, Darkstein, Mutant. So that'll be one team. And then obviously taking on Logan Wolfsbane and Wall Street Enterprises. So where is he? John Greed. And then the Moneymakers. Jackpot and Stevie P. 20 minutes. And we're gonna see how this does, because it kind of does tie in two different storylines together. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna have Giant Brody win. We're gonna have Stevie P lose. We are indeed going to keep my boy Logan strong, because he is our unified world champion. So We pretty much have to do that, otherwise he's going to lose some of that 99 popularity, and even still, he might just do that. Hopefully not, because it will be a tainted victory. And there we go. I kind of don't really want Giant Brody to be the winner of the match. I want it to maybe be Aldous or even Aussie, but doing it this way, it's going to boost Brody up potentially, and then hopefully not really cause Logan to lose anything. That's my thought process behind it anyway. All right, let's try and quick book the rest of the show here. So the women's match, let's go Amy St. James taking on Erin Gray. We'll give it 12. Might drop it back down to 10. We'll see how we go. And I think we can call it, can't we? I think they're both good enough. 68 psych, and I think she has 70. Oh no, also 68. So yeah, good enough, good enough. Although I don't want Robinson. The road agent it. Alright. Up next, let's go a tag team match for Los Hermanos 2. They can take on Young and Wasted. Be our storytelling. Open script decisive. And then let's have a distraction onto Brett by LA Star 1. And a distraction onto Taylor by LA Star. And this will sort of rekindle or re-kick off their storyline. So that'll be nice. What else? Let's do High Flying Hawaiian. Now, he needs to be involved in a match. But I would like him to actually lose. So who could I have him verse? I guess Mobstars, not really doing anything. Maybe just... That's too good of a match. What about Gary? 66 popularity. Yes, that works out very well. Very well indeed. And of course it also plays into Gary's, heelish tactics. So Gary's going to win. Obviously open, called, painted. And then outside interference finish onto High Flying by Robin DeLay. There we go. And that'll bang off their storyline as well. Get it off to a decent little start. I guess let's just have the rematch, the straight up rematch of Gilmore versus Stone. I mean, we may as well. Just 10 minutes straight up, going at it. And David's indeed gonna get another victory, which is crazy to think, but you know what? He wanted to put him over, so there we go. I mean, that's the show booked right there, to be fair. I think we do we want to go an angle for these four? I think we will. But it's primarily going to be Giant Brody saying that he is not joining Forces of Darkness. He is indeed sticking very well clear of their sort of cultish tendencies towards trying to recruit people. He says that he's just teaming with them tonight in order to get his hands on Logan Wolfsbane. Guess we'll put Logan off screen in that regard as well. Although, it'll lower the storyline. Do I want to do it? Probably not. I'll do it anyway, but yeah. Feel a little bit iffy about putting him in there, to be honest. Alright, give Erin Gray an angle as well. Hopefully she'll be able to cut a nice 8-minute angle. If not, we can lower it to 6, but even still that might be potentially too much. I don't know. I don't know how she's kind of perceived. I guess she's not perceived very low. Does have over 50 popularity, so I guess she is deemed of high enough quality. Let's have High Flying Hawaiian Maybe he cuts a promo onto Robin DeLay. Of course, High Flying was just recently one of the newest guys on the roster, and now he's kind of seeing the young Robin DeLay come in, but he's not exactly doing the same or a similar sort of thing that High Flying did. We're also going to kick off the show with an Angry Gilmore. We have to go with the Angry Gilmore David Stone angle to kick us off. Double success, because they're stablemates. At the end of the day, they are stablemates. Well, they are very good friends as well. And at the end of the day, it is literally a passing of the torch. So Angry Gilmore does want David Stone to become the best leader of the stable he possibly can. And he wants him to beat him, basically. That's the whole premise behind them fighting each other in the first place. Alright, so what I think I want to do, let's just go LA Stars with an angle as well. And I guess they'll cut their angle onto Brett Taylor, Taylor Norton. Kyle Norton. I'm pretty sure he's like a football player. Or at least he used to be. I guess they can be on screen for this one as well. They basically just want their rematch at the pay-per-view for their tag team titles. And I like that. That's a show. We do have 6 minutes left. Any other storylines that we haven't really gone through? We haven't really gone through this one. Let me go like this. Let's have Mainstream confront both Davis and Zeus. So all three on Entertainment. A little bit of success for them as well. I think we'll script them, may as well, because we all know how Davis does sometimes with his unscripted angles. They can tend to fall off a little bit. And I guess we'll have Maddie Faith in here as well. Off screen. And there we go. They're all gonna, I guess, come together and cut a promo. Not a promo, but they would have an angle potentially backstage. Let's put it there. So it splits up the Erin Gray angle and then match after it. Because I kind of don't. It looks neat to have angles, you know, going before matches. It's kind of the way I like to book, but it also doesn't really make a lot of sense when you watch a normal wrestling TV show. They kind of, they're all over the place, and they don't always exactly flow into each other. Anyway, pre-show stuff. What women do we have left? Do we have enough? Is Selena here? Yes, she is. Okay. Well, in that case, let's go Selena and Deborah. It's taking on Air Raid, Siren, and Ellie. We should probably bring up some of the other women and potentially have them job to, you know, Deborah and Selena. Maybe we will do that. Let's borrow some workers. We'll go Bernice, and we'll go, who haven't we brought up in a little bit? We'll go Penny Dreadful. Yeah. Actually, I guess we can bring up more. Let's bring up Duplicate, and let's bring up yeah, Mellow. I kind of overlook Mellow every single time. I don't really know why, because I probably shouldn't. She's like one of the more talented ones that I actually liked when I first signed her. So let's go Air Raid and Ellie take on Bernice and Penny. Yes, we'll try and keep it to 10 minutes because of Bernice's stamina issues, but there we go. There's the warning for her stamina. And then the second pre-show, let's go for the other team that I wanted. So it was Deborah and Selena taking on Duplicate and Mellow Flashheart. I mean, we can have Doc, because I think it has been said that, you know, Doc is, you know, he's the commissioner. He's also a road agent, so it kind of just makes sense to have them be road agented by their commissioner. Yes, we can do this one for Doc as well. All right, and then let's just go for a men's. I don't know. Let's put Davis, Hernandez, and Zeus together here. And I guess they can take on. Maybe yeah. Let's go Rock City Stars along with Charlie. There we go. That's a pretty good pre-show, and it is literally Faith No More versus the team we actually want to do it against. So, well, apart from Maddie Faith, and we'll give Mainstream Hernandez the victory because that'll be good for him. How's Charlie doing anyway? Hey, 61, and he's up there now. We've also stopped using him, so pretty funny. But there we go. Not exactly that funny, I guess. All right, let's run the show. We start off with a 44 rated match, and we picked up an injury. Lovely. Got Deborah Young and Selena Svelte defeating Duplicate and Mellow Flashheart in 11:44. And Selena Svelte submitted Mellow Flashheart with a prawn arm lock. Obviously, Deborah head and shoulders above everybody else, but it was indeed Deborah Young who sustained a bruised pectoral muscle. Hopefully that's not a serious injury. Otherwise, we could be in a spot of bother. Let's just say that. Anyway, 44, not great. Hopefully, well, I'm assuming it was probably a botch by one of these two, which kind of sucks. Hopefully not Duplicate, because I do have plans. She's quite talented, and she would I would say probably be the first one up from Dev. And it was Mellow Flashheart, so that's lucky. Okay. Anyway, we go into a 43 rated women's tag match here, the second on the pre-show. Air Raid Siren and Ellie Degrazia defeating Bernice Bonner and Penny Dreadful in 9:38 when Ellie Degrazia pinned Penny, they German suplex, and of course Bernice visibly tiring. Air Raid Siren getting better at her gimmick as well, which is good. Wasn't she? Was it her or was it Amy? I think it was Amy. Amy St. James getting better at a gimmick last time. And the final match in the pre-show, big six-man tag getting a 78 rating. Mainstream Hernandez and the Golden Goats defeating Faith No More, of course, Charlie, Ryan Turner, and Stan Manor in 11:54 when Mainstream Hernandez pinned Charlie Corner with an Apparition 14. And yeah, Charlie was off his game. Ryan Turner was off his game as well, and obviously the GOAT shining during the match, head and shoulders above everybody else. Alrighty, we then kick off the show with an 81 rated angle where we have David Stone, the protege, if you will. And he is challenged to a rematch from the pay-per-view by Angry Gilmore. He wants David to continue proving himself, and he wants an opportunity to get a bit of revenge and to get his own back, if you will. He wants to try and defend his pride that he did lose at Warzone. Unfortunately, David Stone didn't do well without a script to follow, but there we go. Alright, their match actually does pretty well. We get an 82 out of this 10-minute match, and we once again have David Stone defeating Angry Gilmore in 9:52 by pinfall with a stone cutter. And then, 79 in-ring there from David Stone. So Angry Gilmore, he passes the torch. He just does it. He did it to Maddie Faith and literally brought Faith from like an upper mid-carder and skyrocketed him all the way to the main event. And he's essentially doing the exact same thing with David Stone here. And another really solid match. Alright, we then go into to a 68 rated angle where we have High Flying Hawaiian. Like I said when I was booking it, it kind of addresses Robin's, I guess, attitude. You know, his young cockiness coming into a new company, whereas the new kid on the block kind of just, wants to give him a little bit of advice. Says, there's a certain way of doing things around here where you're not going to get massive amount of heat from the rest of the boys in the locker room on your back. You need to be respectful, and you need to not go about things in the manner in which you're going about them right now. So High Flying trying to give him a little bit of advice, but also, he's also pretty respectful himself when he says it. Anyway, he gets a 68. It's not exactly great from high flying, so I'm a little bit taken back by that. I know he's still a mid-carder at the moment, but I don't know. I just thought he might have done better. All right, his match is very good, though. We get another 82 rated match here. Gary Walker actually pulling off a bit of an upset. I mean, Gary does have more popularity. Of course, he's also a former Canadian champion. He does defeat High Flying Hawaiian 11:46 by pinfall with a pants pull sunset flip, following interference from Robin Delay. So Robin didn't exactly like the promo that High Flying just cut on him, and I guess showing a little bit more disrespect by interfering in his match and costing him the victory there. You know, it's a loss onto the very impressive High Flying Hawaiian record at the moment. Of course, Gary Walker, we all know what he's about. He's going to take that all day long and get himself, you know, after his loss last week, back in the hunt for the Canadian title. All right, we then go into a pretty impressive 61 rated angle from Erin Gray by herself. Like I said, I'm a big fan of her. I think she, as far as the young guns go in the company, is looking like the bright prospect at the moment. Very, very much so. Maybe along with Air Raid Siren. I feel like Air Raid has some decent upside to her as well. And obviously Deborah, Selena, kind of the mainstays, along with Amber Allen coming in as well. Anyway, the women's... Oh, I was about to say, I thought that was a women's match, but I forgot I put this one in as well. So we get a 75 rated angle here with Mainstream Hernandez, Davis, Wayne, Newton, and Zeus Maximilian. All three men kind of come together in an understanding that they will work together and face Faith No More at the pay-per-view. They're putting out a challenge to Maddie Faith, gather up two of his other stablemates and meet them in a 6-man tag at the next pay-per-view. 75, it's not that great. It's really not. And it's got Davis in it as well. So it's kind of strange. I feel like Hernandez is kind of... I know he's not the most popular in the world, but I feel like he's just tagging everything down a little bit. Even though he had a really good match. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't feel as good. Alright, we then go into the women's match, which I thought got a 75, but this one, it actually does pretty well, even still, getting a 64. So it's 4 points lower than the women's match last week, but it also doesn't have our best, quote-unquote, best talent. So we have Erin Gray here defeating Amy St. James in 12-14 by submission with a guillotine choke. Good match. Got Erin Gray with a 59 and Amy St. James with a 45. We then go into a tag team promo, getting a 67 rating here from the LA Stars. Of course, they cut their promo onto Young and Wasted, the new, and of course the LA Stars are the former tag team champions. And they basically say they want their rematch clause. They don't really feel like they deserve to lose. Obviously, fatal 4-way TLC match with the titles hanging above the ring. It's kind of like a lottery for all the teams involved. And they felt like the odds were definitely stacked, you know, out of their favor. And they essentially only had a 25% chance of actually retaining their title. And, you know, they respect the fact that Young and Wasted, you know, they won the belts. They won it fair and square. However, they want a chance to try and get their titles back from them. 67's pretty good. We then go into Young and Wasted's match, which gets a 71, which is very good, considering they versed Los Hermanos. And they defeat Los Hermanos 2 in 11:45 when Brett Kyle pinned Louise Frost with a shooting star press. And then during the match, we also saw LA Star 1 distract Brett Kyle and LA Star number 2 distract Taylor Norton. And yeah, this was actually the Los Hermanos 2, so literally the worst pairing of Los Hermanos, which is very interesting considering it's a 71 rated match. Got a very solid 74 Taylor and a 75 there for Brett. Good stuff. They're also tag team specialists. Did they always have that? I don't think they always had that. They might have, but I can't remember it always being there. I'm not sure. Anyway, we move on to the pre-main event angle. Actually does better than I thought it would. I kind of thought maybe putting Brody and Mutant in there would drag it down a little bit. We still managed to get a 91 rated angle, and as you can see, Mutant was very poor, but luckily Brody came across well. And yeah, this is essentially, like I said, just Brody saying that he doesn't want to be corrupted. He's got his sights firmly set on Logan Wolfsbane, who he does talk about, and he's just kind of tagging with Forces of Darkness here tonight in the hopes of causing Logan some real pain. The main event doesn't do as well as I would have, liked it, to have done. But at the same time, there are some people in the match that definitely passed it. Some people that might not exactly be there yet either. So an 83, I'm happy with it. It's not the 85 that I would have liked, but it's good enough. When you look at a John Greed performance in there of 59, you can kind of understand why I say that. So an 83, we'll take it. Not great main events on this episode though. Anyway, we have Giant Brody, Mutant, and obviously Aldous Blackfire, Aussie Darkstein. They defeat Logan Wolfsbane, John Greed, and the Moneymakers in 20 minutes and 5 seconds when Giant Brody pins Stephen Parker while using the ropes for leverage. So you can kind of imagine Giant Brody putting his feet literally on the top rope, trying to get that pinfall there because he is 6'9", and he would have that ridiculous type of leverage if he was trying to cheat in a match. But as you can see, maybe a little bit of heel tendencies coming to the I guess maybe what would be the word? The forefront of the mind of Giant Brody. He won the title off of his quote-unquote little brother, and now it's kind of seems like the power's gone to his head. He's getting a little bit greedy. He's won the Canadian title. All of a sudden, straight away, his sights are set on the Unified World title. A little bit strange behavior from Giant Brody. Anyway, that is the end of the second TV show. Actually gets a lower rating. We only get an 84 for this show, as opposed to the 85 that we got for the last one, even though it had a better rated main event by 5 points as well. Anyway, 84, it's not terrible. I'd love it to be an 85 and above. 85's the blue text, kind of the minimum that I like to see for the shows and for the main events, but we'll take the 84. It's not a big issue. Again, only increasing the popularity in 53 regions, so the three big Canadians are the ones that miss out. Alright, Wilson Carlyle, pretty average referee to be fair. We also got Captain Canada requesting to be brought onto the main roster. Once again, I mean, it's now a few times that is really kind of wanted to come up. I mean, I think for now we'll just keep him down there because honestly, I just kind of want him to stay down there until I have the storyline, ready set up for him, which will be soon. Anyway, we got a 3.9 TV rating, so it looks like we got the same viewers that we would have had for on them. It looks like they came to us anyway, because I'm pretty sure that was the exact same viewership. So obviously the fans still wanted to actually watch us. So instead they literally just came, to our broadcaster instead of on them. I'm kind of wondering, would our broadcaster be cheaper than on dem? Probably not. Although I don't know. That would be an interesting question. If you think about a subscription service that is on dem, I don't know. That's a weird one. Alrighty, there we go. Finally, we got some dojo graduates. We got Sean Grunge. Looking like a badass. 6'6", 297 pounds as well. Got a quiet personality, so I like that straight away off the get-go. Dude's also got 97 menace. 60 star quality. Brawling. Technical. I like him. 94 power. Pretty good stamina as well for a big guy. I like this guy. Sean Grunge. What a name as well. What a name. And he's a ripped heavyweight. Hell yeah. Alright. Exclusive written contract. It'd be nice if we could just get him for cheap, but obviously it's probably gonna go to yeah, 15,000. You know what? We'll take it. He looks real good, man. Real good. And then we have Mayhew Robert. Let's have a look at Mayhew first. Egomaniac. Really not getting some decent personalities coming through, are we? You know what? I don't like this guy again. I don't like the fact that he's an egomaniac. I don't like the fact that he has 28 star quality. He's also a high flyer, which I'm not terribly against, but I mean, he's apparently 6 foot, 236 pounds. Not exactly that much of a high flyer, but I guess he is apparently. He's also a flabby middleweight, so you know what? You guys might be upset, but I'm going to bin him. Yeah, we're going to bin him. There we go. And once again, they have come back in. Well, actually, only CZCW and QAW. So I think we're fine. Wait, what? How is that still being seriously considered? I thought we had the best offer. Do we not? Wait, what? It changed? How did it change? Good thing I checked it. Oh my god. Alright, there we go. What the hell happened there? We had the best offer. Okay. Alright, now we have the best offer again for an extra $2,000. I mean, we may as well. It's already at 192,000. What is 194? God damn. She's Amber Allen's really getting her money's worth out of this contract. I mean, she is the CWA Women's Champion. I mean, I guess this could be the point where we actually declare war on them. I don't know if I really want to do that, but it'd be pretty interesting for the series, I guess. But, I mean, we're likely not going to be able to beat them, especially with the shows I've been putting on this episode. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Oh, see, we're already up to 64. I'm glad I didn't do it. All right. That just made me happy. We're at 64 across the other American regions. And we also actually got 65 in Alberta just then as well. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, 1 point of popularity in those US regions, and we will have the CNN. CNN? No, GNN. CNN's the real life broadcaster in America, isn't it? GNN. The Global News Network or something like that? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? As long as they have very big coverage in the US, big coverage in Canada, and small coverage in Mexico, that's all I care about my show being on. There we go. Alright, JD Morgan. I don't think he's anything special. Yeah, road agent. Just an average road agent. Alright, delete everything. Still only advance them 1 day at a time, though. Very fearful of losing Amber Allen, even though I've nearly spent $200,000 a month on her. Alright. Alright, you know what? We're 2 days away. I think we can risk it at this point. I don't think CWA are coming back in. If they do, they're going to pay more than us. Potentially. I mean, maybe not. They can probably beat us even with like a $150,000 offer. I don't know. If that was me, I would go with the hottest rising company in the game. Being us, of course. And Felipe Caballero, that's a guy right there that I really like. If you've been with the channel for quite some time, you'll know that I'm a big fan of both him and Seth Whitehead. Of course, they pretty much rode with us the Road to Glory for quite some time. Anyway, here we go. Amber Allen, welcome to the coalition. All right. Probably, apart from Brooke Tyler, that might be the biggest woman signing we could get. And we also have Laura Flame coming in as well, which was one we set up towards the end of last episode. Amber Allen, Laura Flame, Deborah Young, Selena Svelte. That's a women's fatal four-way match if I've ever seen one in my life. And I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be our first ever women's title match, to be honest. It just works. It books itself, basically. It books itself. Anyway, we got Cooper Christie lifting the locker room when a silly game he created quickly became popular backstage. Do some more meddling here, I guess. Kavanaugh, Davis. Actually, no. She's not actually on the roster, so I guess their tension isn't going to come up. What's her name? Mello and Deborah. Anyway, we'll do Davis. Nothing's going to happen, so we don't have to worry. Don't worry yourself, guys. They're never going to get over their little problem they have. Their hate. I guess it's hatred now. Not been a problem a long time ago. All right. The real question is, what is going to be the main event for this show? Haven't really thought that one through. You know what I'm going to do at the pay-per-view as well? Logan versus Giant Brody is going to be a scripted 20-minute match. I want to see how it does. That will be a big test. Let me have a look at both of them real quick, because I want to see their psychology together. Alright, so Brody... 82. So Brody, I think, actually has more psychology than Logan does. Which kind of almost seems insane, but there we go. He literally has 1 point more. What about Graham? What does Graham have? Because Graham, him and Graham got the penalty. So he's got 79. What about Aldous? Because Aldous was the one that we didn't get a penalty with, and he's got 85. See, that's kind of the problem. I think we need a minimum of at least 85 to not get that penalty. I think Davis has I think he has 83. But I feel like we didn't get the penalty with him back in the day either. Maybe we did, I can't remember. So I guess Mobstar would be the other one, but I think we did get the penalty. Yeah, because he's also 81. He's actually been gaining psychology, which is very strange. Anyway, we're literally not doing anything with Mobstar at the moment. I guess I should probably put him in a match, considering he literally hasn't done anything. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe a Mobstar main event? No idea who he can verse. Gary Walker, maybe? Island Boy? Eh, probably not. Maybe Hawking. Yeah, we'll go Hawking. Hawking versus Mobstar. No storyline attachment. Just a main event level match. Maybe they'll have a rematch of the pay-per-view. I guess for this one, I might want to script this as well. Let me script this, because I don't think I've ever done a scripted main event before. So, you know what would suck? If somehow this match, of all matches, gets a 100 rating. I really hope it doesn't, because I want that to be a special match. And I clicked, yeah, see, that's my go-to. Like, all of a sudden, I just click call match because of the quality of the people involved. Now, this doesn't actually have a storyline attached, so it potentially will get a penalty for that anyway. Hopefully, no 100 rating. Alright, the rest of the show. We've got an easy tag team match between Yeah, let's go Disciples of Darkness 6 against the Moneymakers. This could be the main event. Oh, that could be the main event. It really could. It would potentially be a better main event, maybe, than what we're already doing. It scares me, though. Do I just do it? I kind of feel like I just do it, to be fair. Alright, I'm not going to do it as the main event. We'll stick with Mobstar. Do Mobstar and Matt Hocking as the main event. I'm not going to do it. Let's do the Moneymakers. I'll script this one instead, so we actually get to see what happens. But yeah, I just can't do it. The other one it doesn't make sense for it to be the main event. It doesn't have a storyline attached to it. You guys will probably be, I don't know. You probably wouldn't really care because it's a good match on paper anyway. But there we go. Change this one down to 12 minutes. It's still going to be on the show, but there we go. I guess we can call this one, considering it's only going to be for 12 minutes now. All right, there we go. Don't worry about it too much. All right. Let's just go a triple threat tag team match as well here, where I just want to get in Disciples of Darkness 5. I just want to have them come in and get another win, because they'll be next month's sort of tag team #1 contenders. A nice, easy way. I might even give the victory. Let's give it to Sinner. There we go. Good old Sinner. Yeah, we actually have to call the match, even though, you know what? Pretty much everyone apart from Sinner in the match can call it, so I think literally everybody can, actually. Isn't that funny? Sinner's the only one. Yeah. There we go. Alright, what else? Because I'll have the... I guess I can put the angle in right now. Let's have Brett Kyle and Taylor. They're going to respond to the LA Stars and essentially grant them their match. We might script him as well. Alright. That's good to get in there just before the that other tag team match, because it's kind of the tag division. Obviously, different people, but we'll keep it nice and together. I want to give Mobstar an angle for himself as well, so I'll chuck that in right now. Obviously, he doesn't have anything to do, so it's just going to be a basic sort of... I'm looking to come back in the best fashion possible. We'll also go an angle for Aldous and Aussie. Free main event. Should equal a decent rating, I would hope. And that'll of course, advance their storyline as well. Alright. Matches. What other matches are we doing? Let's have Davis take on Charlie. Nice and simple. And I think next episode for the go home we'll have Zeus versus Maddie Faith. I think that's a pretty good way of continuing this sort of 3v3 storyline. Nice. And then one more match. I know I should probably do the women, but Deborah was the one I was going to use, and she's injured now as well. Maybe I'll just do an angle for them on this show. Maybe just an angle between her and Selena, maybe. So let's we'll do another men's match. Potentially this one. Something with Gilmore and Stone. Or I could do something for this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that because that's going to write itself next month, though. Yeah. Okay, let's either high flying or Robin delay. Let's go another match for high flying, and we'll do it this way. The high flying can take on. I mean, it doesn't really matter who he versus. Jack Pride. Jack Pride's a good person to use. 12 minutes. High flying's going to get the win. However, it's going to be open, scripted, tainted. And this one is going to be a botched interference finish onto Jack Pride by Robin Delay. So he's once again trying to get involved, but this time it backfires for him. Okay. I think that all looks pretty good. So we need to go for a... Let's go for a Maddie Faith angle onto... I guess you can just cut it onto all three of them. So Davis, Mainstream Hernandez, and Zusi. Good old Zusi. So they'll all be off screen, and it will be for what's his name's match, for Charlie Corner's match. I like that. Hopefully, you know, Maddie Faith will be back to his best. That would be good. And then we need an angle. Can Robin speak? Should probably check that. Robin Delay. Yes, he can. Okay. He can speak pretty well. Let's give him an angle. And maybe he'll say something like, you know, he just expects respect from High Flying Hawaiian. Yeah, I mean, we'll go with that. We'll run with that. See what he can do on the mic. He might bomb. He might do terrible. Although I need a little bit of time back. We bring that back down to 10, and then I mean that's 7 minutes. Okay, 7 minutes is good enough. And then I want to have a Doc, Deborah, and Selena. Can Selena speak? Hold on. Need to check if Selena can speak. She can't. Okay, it's not good. It's not good. And I think Deborah can just speak. Like, barely. Yeah. Even her, it's kind of touch and go. Kind of touch and go. Do I risk going entertainment with them? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to script all three of them, though, because I think that's probably the smart way of doing it, but there we go. There we go. Women's wrestling in the coalition. I mean, crap. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know how that's going to do. Anyway, let's run the show. Actually, pre-show stuff. Let's do a singles match for Selena. Who can she verse? I have no idea. Maybe Amy as well, but she'll probably not want to lose that, even though it's on the pre-show. Pretty sure we can call it as well. You're gonna take it? No, she is not. Okay, in that case, we're gonna have to borrow someone up as well. Let's go with Yvonne. Yvonne can come because she didn't come up last week. So Selena versus Yvonne. Just another nice victory there for Selena. We just need to be doing as much as possible to get her over as soon as possible as well. I'm not sure about Yvonne's psychology. Yeah, very low. For obvious reasons, why she's down in developmental. And then we'll do another match. 6-man tag. Let's go with... Interesting. We haven't really used Brody or Logan. Got a team of Logan, David Stone, Spencer Edmund. I like it, even though Spencer's kind of a heel. The other two are kind of faces. And they can take on Giant Brody. Mutant, I guess. Another loss for Mutant, essentially. But then again, he is versing who he's versing. And we'll chuck in Robin Delay in there as well. The pre-show, we'll give the victory. I mean, it's going to Logan. It has to go to Logan. Probably check his popularity, because I didn't really think about it following the, that last match. Still 99 though. He's actually gained popularity this month, which is very nice. Okay, Quincy. We'll try Angry for that one as well, and there we go. All right, let's run the show. Started with a 54 rated pre-show women's match. We've got Selena Svelte defeating Yvonne Eriks in 11:53 by submission. A prawn arm lock, and we have Selena and Yvonne with pretty good chemistry and lifted the match. Good stuff. Hopefully that'll boost up Selena and give her a little bit more popularity. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This match does this good, and then I struggle in the main events for some reason. Get an 89 rated pre-show match. 89 on the pre-show. We have Logan Wolfsbane, David Stone, and Spencer Edmund defeating Giant Brody, Mutant, and Robin Delay in 12:28 when Logan pinned Robin with a belly-to-belly suplex. Obviously, Logan destroying everybody else with a 99 in-ring performance. Very impressive. Actually, you know what? We've got a 78 for David Stone and a 77 for Mutant there as well. So, fair play to those guys. Alright, we then kicked off the show with our Women's Division Commissioner, Doc Hammond, and our two sort of prominent women in the division at the moment. And they only get a 46. As you can see, the angle was a poor way to start the show, so I probably should have put it further in, I guess. But yeah, Selena Svelte underperformed. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Didn't really need to actually rate her an entertainment going into this one. With her popularity, it's kind of just a drag on the whole angle, to be honest. Bit of a mistake. Even maybe Deborah being rated on entertainment would have been pretty bad, but she actually has a little bit of entertainment skill and a little bit of popularity as well. But yeah, this not a great way to show off our women's division. Anyway, we move on to a 60 rated angle, so that's not terrible actually from Robin Delay. Maybe a little bit better than I thought it would be even. But he basically comes out, says High Flying Hawaiian, has no idea what he's talking about, and says that, you know, due to his name in professional wrestling, especially in Canada, he should just have the respect. It shouldn't have to be earned. It should just be given, and High Flying Hawaiian should know his place. And he's going to teach him a thing or two at the pay-per-view, and he's going to teach him another lesson. He taught him one last week. Going to teach him another one here tonight. And as you can see, he enjoyed having the freedom to go off script as well. Alright, we then go into a match which High Flying Hawaiian is involved in, getting a 67 rating. We have High Flying Hawaiian defeating Primetime Jack Pride in 12:17 by pinfall with a Pacific Crush following a botched interference by Robin Delay. So yeah, Robin trying to cause an interference to cost the match there for High Flying. But obviously, High Flying is a little bit of a veteran. He knows his way around the ring and what's going on, especially after last week where he maybe didn't take Robin too seriously in what he was trying to do. But he's taking him seriously now, and he didn't cost him the match. In fact, he actually cost Jack Pride the victory in this one. So we've got a 67 in the ring there from High Flying. Pretty good match. All right, that's better. That's the Maddie Faith that we know. All right, we get a 92 rated angle from Maddie Faith here. And of course, he's kind of going off on one. Mainstream Hernandez, Davis Wayne Newton, Zeus Maximilian. We want all three of you at the pay-per-view. Faith No More is going to get a little bit of comeuppance, shall we say, for you golden goats, you know. kind of puts it out there that all three of them might be past their prime and past their sort of sell-by date. And of course, Maddie, he thinks that it's his destiny to one day become the unified world champion. And he wants everybody to have a little bit of faith in him. Keeps going with the whole faith gimmick. And, I mean, he's doing well with it. So there we go, 92. Then we go into a 75 rated match where we have his potential opponent at the pay-per-view, Davis Wayne Newton, the GOAT himself. And he defeats Charlie Corner in 12:27 by pinfall with a fisherman's suplex. We've got a 90 in-ring there from Davis. Good stuff. All right, we then go into a 65 rated angle for Young and Wasted. Of course, they respond to the LA Stars. They accept the rematch clause. They feel like the LA Stars, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would have, kind of been in the exact same position the LA Stars were as well. Although they kind of put over the fact that if it was them, they probably wouldn't have lost the titles to begin with. So a little bit of shade there with also, a little bit of, a bit of acceptance and obviously accepting the rematch clause. All right, we then go into a triple threat tag team match, getting a 52 rating here. We have Disciples of Darkness 5 beating Job Squad and Red, White, and Blue in 10:21. The order of elimination was Job Squad first and then Red, White, and Blue. Zombie Boy head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. It's a good match, and of course they're kind of our number one contenders going forward the month after. So there we go. Alrighty, we then go into an 89 rated angle from Mobstar. Once again, Lee Bambino, pretty weak at the announcing desk. God damn it, Lee. Really hate this guy. Really want to get him out of the company. Anyway, 89, Mobstar angle. Says he wants to get back to being his best and is going to go through the roster to prove to everybody that he deserves to once again hold the unified world title. His match could have been the main event. We get an 88 rated match here. Actually 1 point lower than the pre-show 6-man tag. But we do indeed have Mobstar defeating Matt Hocking in 12:20 by pinfall with a flattener DDT. Good match. Good win for Mobstar, and he moves on. And we move on into a 95 rated angle. This one coming from Forces of Darkness. We've of course got the Disciples of Darkness, number 6, which is Aldous Blackfire, Ozzy Darkstein. And they both really enjoy going off script. And once again, Lee Bambino letting us down big time. Big time every time that's going to come up now. And it's really, really going to frustrate me after he was the essentially the cause of us not getting that 100. Frustrating. All right. Main event. This is scripted. So I'm curious to see what happens, man. I'm really curious. All right. Luckily, it's a good match. We get an 89 rated main event here. So that's interesting. The fact that that is scripted and it's doing that well. That's very interesting. Anyway, we have Disciples of Darkness 6 defeating the Moneymakers in 20 minutes, 12 seconds. And Ozzy Darkstein pinned Stephen Parker with a golden shower. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. 89. It's a real good match. I'm very happy with it. But same time, what are the negatives? Only 2 negatives. Because it was a hot storyline associated. Inconsistency from Stevie P, and then also the declining physical ability. Interesting that there was no stamina issue there yet from Stevie P. Very interesting. Anyway, finish the show. We get an 89. You love to see it. That's what we need to be getting. Like the 84, 85. It's about average. But an 89, as you can see, increase of popularity in 55 regions, which is all but Ontario. And I love to see that. Because even the Quebec and Manitoba regions get a nice little increase as well. There we go. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Another episode down. And you know what? It was a good episode because it really kind of set us up. We also signed Amber freaking Allen to the company. Looks like we also beat CWA. We tied, but I'm assuming we won. We also had a higher rated main event there. Although they did have a 93 rated match, they decided not to put as the main event. Which looks like a really good fatal 4-way match between these guys. With Aaron Knight, who is ridiculously over. Even Jared Johnson's pretty over as well. Very talented. But yeah, we apparently beat them. Don't know how, but I guess we did. There we go. We're number 1 in the articles, so we'll take it. We'll take it. What do we got here? Real quick. No way. Alina America as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll deal with that one next episode, I think. Luckily, she's actually not that over, because she would also be a lot of money if she had about 80 popularity. And we get a 3.93 TV rating from our personal broadcaster, so there we go. Of course, we did upgrade, so it must be said that, you know, that's obviously going to spill over. You know, more viewers, more regions, more viewers. Yeah, whatever I just said. Said it a few times. Anyway, real quick, I just wanted to show you guys the merchandise tab, because I know somebody was looking to see that last episode. As you can see, there are a few people that are making a decent amount of money. And definitely making, you know, a decent amount of money for the company as well. Obviously, Logan, number 1, without a doubt, 99 popularity. Then Aldous, number 2, making a fair amount of money as well. And then Mobstars kind of, he's fallen back a bit, which is interesting. Only 92 popularity these days. And Aldous is all the way up at 97, which is ridiculous. But obviously that match, the 98, and then winning the Battle Royale as well, really put him in good stead for this month as well. So the company, we're doing perfect. We're absolutely smashing it. We're getting really close to big size as well. Obviously, that's the most important thing. We want to go local to global, or whatever the biggest size in this game is. I don't know why they changed it. I still don't know why. But anyway, Big's up next. It's pretty much Alberta that we're waiting on, really. Only 12 points away. Literally 12 points. That's 5 to 6 months, really. And potentially we're getting a new TV deal. Maybe even next episode. Who knows? It literally could come next episode. Let's check the size in the US. Okay. There we go. So we're 1 point away still. And I assume it's either go home, or it's definitely going to be the pay-per-view that boosts it up to 65. I'm looking forward to it. Amber Allen coming in. Laura Flame coming in. We've literally signed the women's champion. CWA women's champion. So she's going to bring along the belt to our company, and that's how we're actually going to start. I think I'm just going to go to the CWA belt, and we're just going to put our logo over the top of it, just as like a big kind of FU to the alliance. Yeah, I mean, where it says CWA up there, I might literally like blank that out and then put a big coalition like badge right there in the middle of it. I mean, looks pretty badass, or at least it will look pretty. It's an 82 prestige title as well. I guess, you know what I'll do? Because we are essentially stealing their title away, what I'll do is I'll lower the prestige. I'll make it maybe like 42 or something like that. Just so we have to work it, you know, all the way back up to the levels that it should be at. Because it's essentially going to be a knockoff belt, if you will. Well, it could essentially be seen as the real belt that she takes, but you know what I mean. Anyway, hopefully we don't get a cease and desist letter from it. That would be pretty funny. Obviously, can't actually happen in the game. But there we go. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the episode, guys. Please make sure you smash a like on it before you click away. Hopefully you've already liked it. I know most of you click that like button way before I ask you at the end of the episode here. Also, if you're a new viewer and you make it to the end here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. I'm also looking to do another one of these live episodes. Of course, the last episode was live streamed on Twitch, so make sure you follow the Twitch channel. It's the second link in the description below where you can purchase TEW 2020 if you want to do so. Anyways, apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.